Hey guys and girls, how is it going? And welcome back to another episode of Agrarian Skies with myself, Lewis. Hope you're brilliant, having yourself a great day as always. Got my amazing jetpack on, yes. And today we're going to be playing with some pretty funky things. So we're going to start on our applied Energistics. It's about time, we need to do it. If we're going to set up our quarry and get all of that up and running, we're going to need ourselves some applied Energistics. All the storage, yes. So I've been doing a few bits. Let me take you around here and I'll show you what I've been up to. So we're going to need ourselves a load of plastic, because we're going to use the plastic to make ourselves the silicon. So I made a harvester and a planter, and I've got it doing these rubber saplings, which is exactly the same as the farm. Absolutely the same. And what it's doing is it's pulling the items out. We've got a tesseract here to power everything, and when these come out they're going to get split up. So the saplings are going to go into the planter down there. We're going to have the wood go into a barrel just over there, and then the rubber is going to go into the redstone furnace. It's going to get cooked up and turned into rubber bars, and then once the rubber bars are done they get pulled out via here. These guys go back into the furnace, cooked up once again, and we get this raw plastic. So we're going to be using this. Now you don't need the raw plastic if you want to do it, because to make silicon you can just smelt up the quartz dusts, but it does come in kind of handy for when you're making the wires, and it means that you haven't got to use the dust to do it, so which is even better. You can see with the ME cables, which we'll get to in a bit, if you use the raw plastic instead of using glass, you get 4 instead of 3 of the ME cables, which works out a little bit nicer. And the silicon can be made with all the raw plastic like that, or the cooking of the nether quartz or certus quartz. But we want to hang on to these because we're going to need these for other recipes, so let's use the plastic for the time being. So this is going to be where we're going to set up all of our applied Energistics. I've started, you know, putting all the areas together, thinking where I want everything to be. This is going to be where we're going to have our giant crafting terminal thingy, our multi-block structure. And over this side, I'm thinking we might extend this, and this is where my reactors are going to be, because we're going to have reactors for powering the quarry and probably the AE network once I have the reactors set up. At the minute, it's just going to get powered by the regular power up there, and I kind of hope it's going to be able to power it, because I think we're on the edge of how far we can push it. A lot of the stuff isn't getting the lava anymore. I think we might be, yeah, we might be pushing it a tad, so we're going to need some new power. So let's start doing this. The first thing that we're going to need ourselves is a ME controller before we can do anything, and we're going to need a advanced processor. These guys require a certain tool to make. We need a quartz cutting knife, which is made like this. So we get some sticks, we get our iron, and we get some nether quartz. You can use the different types of quartz as well. It doesn't have to be nether one, and that gives you a quartz cutting knife. And now to make any of the processors, because there's the advanced and the basic processor, the recipe is generally the same. So redstone like that, then your silicon, and if you're making an advanced, you'll use a diamond, and if you're using a regular, you'll use a bit of gold to get the basic one. But we need a diamond for this, so let's get our advanced processor like that. And we're going to throw that in here, cook it up, get it all smelted and mushed together, and that's going to give us our advanced processor. Lovely jubbly. Next thing we're going to need is some fluix crystals to be able to do this, and they're made with the certus quartz, the nether quartz, and the redstone. So let's pop that in there like that. Now, one little thing which is kind of handy, and I think we did this in like the first episode because we did it in a house, but if you put a chest like this, it actually reads it on the side. The only thing that it doesn't do is, for instance, if we have a look in here, you can see that we've got this. Generally, if we shift click on here, it will put the items in there. It won't do it for that, but you can shift click and still put in the pattern, the ghost blocks of where things need to be, which is kind of handy. The only things that you can't use are stuff from like iron chests or any of the strong boxes. It doesn't seem to want to read those, so it has to be a good old double chest to get all the stuff that you want. So let's make these fluix crystals, and we're going to get a fairly decent amount of them, so let's put a stack of that in there, stack of redstone and a stack of this, and that'll give us 64 fluix crystals, because we're going to need these later on for some other bits. And there's also the fluix dust, which is made of the dust counterparts, so certus quartz dust, nether quartz dust, and redstone. Just like that. Alright, so we've got most of the bits that we need, so let's do this. We'll throw these guys in. And we'll throw in our iron, and that's going to give us our ME controller. So we're going to pop this here in the middle, because this is where everything's going to go. Bam, just like that. You can see the power's shot up. And the idea behind this is kind of central. I'm going to have this going up through there, through both levels. So that way we can access this whenever we need to. We can also make the wireless of the ME access terminals, and that'll allow us to do it when we're around the base and wherever we are. But it's nice to have it going up all of the levels so that I can play with it that way. So if we have a look in here, you'll be able to see that we currently have 2000 MJ stored. So we've got a load of MJ in there. That's actually a load. That's really good. I don't know if they did it to RF yet. I don't think they did. No. We've got EU. We've got joules. Watts. We haven't got RF yet, but that's still, you know, a fairly decent amount of power we've got in there, 2000 MJ, but we're not really using any power at the minute. The energy use is 1.2 Minecraft joules per tick, which is pretty much nothing, because we haven't actually got anything going on. The only block using the power is the ME controller. So let's look at some of the other bits we're going to want. We're going to want ourselves a access terminal, and we're also going to want ourselves an ME drive. So we're going to need to make some of these ME basic processors, which we looked at the recipe a minute ago. So we need the redstone like this, and we need ourselves the silicon. Oh, we're going to need more silicon, so let's grab our plastic. There we go, and that gives us a load more silicon, so let's throw that in the chest. So this guy, our redstone, we needed 2 of them, didn't we? We need our gold and our silicon. Gives us 2 of these basic processors, and that can go in there and start cooking up and giving us all the bits that we need. Alright, and that's pretty much that. We don't really need much else, do we? So let's quickly craft a chest. That can sit in the middle like that, and we're going to want our iron on the sides. There we go, and our glass. Huh, I wonder why my processors haven't gone in there yet. I wonder if it doesn't I wonder if it doesn't render them. If it's... yeah, look, now it does. Huh, strange. There we go, ME drive. Alrighty, so that guy can sit probably here. There we go. And we'll have probably some more on the either sides. As we want to make a column, I don't really want it there because I'd rather have an access terminal here. So that's going to do that. This is now linked together with our ME controller. Any of the applied Energistics stuff that you put down don't require wires touching each other. If they're side by side like this, they'll share the power source, which is good. But the ME drive currently has nothing in it, so it's not using up any power at all, so that's good. So we're going to want a drive, which is going to store all of the stuff that we're going to need. So let's make a basic one to start. We'll make a 1K storage cell, the smallest of the cells, but it'll do the trick. So once again, we're going to want ourselves another one of these. So we're going to want that. We're going to want our gold. We're going to want some redstone and some silicon. So let's start cooking that guy up. There we go. And we're going to want ourselves... well, that's pretty much it, isn't it? There we go. That guy's in there. Most of these recipes to start with are fairly simple, but once you start moving on to things like the 4K storage cells or the 16s, you need things like storage clusters, which then need storage segments, they need storage cells. It gets very, very wash, rinse, and repeat. So, yeah, that's a thing. Alright, so let's put this guy together. So, we want this one, we want our Certus quartz like that, and we want our redstone, which gives us our storage cell, and then we want to make the rest of this, so that in the middle, redstone again, some glass, and some iron. Cool beans. Oh, one more. Gives us our ME 1K storage cell, and now this guy can go and sit in here. So you can see it's in there, it's got a little green light, means it's all healthy. The lights on the front that you'll see determine the how your storage cell is doing. So it will change dependent on how much you've got in there, whether it's full, whether it's getting full, whether the amount of items is maximum. It's kind of good that it shows that sort of stuff off, which is nice. And you can also see that our energy use has now gone up to 1.7 Minecraft joules per tick because we've added something to our network of ME stuff. Alright, so next thing is going to be a terminal, which is going to allow us to see what's inside. So we're going to need an access terminal, which is going to need another conversion matrix and such. So once again, let's make one of these guys. So some gold, one of our redstones, and we want our silicon. I might even make a couple of these while we're here. Let's make 3 of them because I'm going to need a load more at a later date anyway. So there we go, 3 basic processors, lovely jubbly. You can go in there and start cooking up. And let's have a little look around here, see what else we need. So we've got that. We're going to need a ME cable. We've got most of the bits we need. I'm so happy that I made this chest so that I don't have to keep running around everywhere. It's kind of it's fairly handy. Alright, so let's put this guy together. So we're going to want this thing. So let's pop that in there. So processors, fluix dusts, our iron. There we go. We want a crystal, and we want some nether quartz. Gives us our conversion matrix, and then we're going to make this one. So conversion matrix, glass, our ME cable, some iron. There we go. It gives us a ME access terminal. And I think that's probably what I'm going to want. I don't think I'm going to want a crafting terminal just yet. Could do, maybe. Let's have a look. Crafting terminal. Yeah, you know what? We'll have a crafting terminal. Why not? So let me explain these if you don't know what they are. So the access terminal allows you to see the items that are inside your network. The crafting terminal does the same thing, but you can craft with it as well, which is kind of cool. And that's why it uses the access terminal as a part of its recipe. So we're going to want one of these. So let's do this. Some redstones. Here we go. So most of the basic stuff is kind of cheap. You just need a lot of the quartz side of things. So one storage cell. And we'll put this guy together. We want the crafting monitor. No, we want the ME crafting terminal. That's the kitty. There we go. So let's get ourselves a crafting bench. There. Our storage cell. Our terminal. Our glass. And some iron. There we go, ME crafting terminal. And you can just sit on top of there. There we go. It initializes, and it's good to go. So now we can click on this, and we can see inside our system. If this wasn't a crafting terminal, this section here would not be there. It would just be this bit. Alright, so we can go ahead now and we can throw items inside our system, and what it does is it basically disintegrates and pulverizes and mashes things down into what's called matter energy, which is what ME stands for, and that is how it stores its stuff. So you can see on here that it gets turned to bytes, and 11 of 1024 bytes have used. There's only one type of item there, so it's 1 out of 63. So there's two limitations to your storage cells. The one limitation is that it can only hold 63 of one type of item, like that, or 63 different types of items, and the amount that you have in there. So we could only have 1 of 63, but we could use up the full 1024 bytes, which means the storage cell is then full, or vice versa. We could have 63 different items in there, 1 of each, and it would still fill up. So that's where the different size cells come into effect. So the cells there, let's have a look. The 1K cell can hold 1024, whereas the 16K can hold 16,384. The only thing that doesn't change is the different types. So they always will hold 63 of different types of items. There we go. So we can go popping all our stuff in there. So the idea behind all of this is this is where we're going to have all of our ores. Most of our processing is going to be done, and we can go ahead and just come to this guy and grab all the stuff that we need. The other guy, which I want to make for this, is going to be, let's have a look, see if we can find it. So I don't want ME chest. There we go, an ME wireless access point, which can require a wireless receiver, which is a fluix pearl, and a few other bits. So let's go get ourselves a ender pearl from over here. And this is going to be pretty cool. So we'll grab a few pearls and let's go downstairs. So once I've made this setup, it's only going to basically be repeated on every floor. So I don't really need to show you the different floors at the minute. But the only thing that's going to go on the different floors is going to be the crafting terminals. None of this needs to go on the different floors. All of this junk and messy stuff can stay down on this floor where it's never going to be seen. Alright, so let's make ourselves our wireless access point. So we're going to want this guy, we're going to need a fluix pearl, so let's make one of those. So ender pearl, we're going to want these, there we go, and our dust, which will give us that. Am I going to need one of those for my wireless where's the wireless guy gone? There it is. Yeah, we're going to want another one for that as well, so let's make 2 of these. There we go, so our dusts, our fluix stuff, and our ender pearls will give us 2 of these fluix pearls. Good stuff. And then we're going to want to throw in an ME cable, some glass. We need a wireless receiver, which is a stick and such. So it's all kind of fairly cheap once you've got yourself up and running. We are going to need some more sticks, so let's grab those. There we go. And our iron. Alrighty then, wireless receiver. And remember, we're going to need 2 of these, aren't we? So let's do this again to grab 2. Okie dokie. And we should be kind of set to go. So let's throw all this together. So there's that one. There's these. there's another one of the cables and some glass. Oh, and this. There we go. One wireless access point. Lovely jubbly. And to accompany that, we're going to want ourselves a ME wireless access terminal, which you're going to need an access terminal and an energy cell. So these guys are kind of expensive. Well, they're not that bad actually. They used to be more expensive. ME access terminal again. We need a conversion matrix. So let's pop that guy in there. We'll use the last one of these. So I think you're starting to see a repetitive strain to this crafting process. That it does get a little bit samey, but it's fine. Once you've made most of it, you very quickly get used to it. The good thing with it being repetitive, though, is it does mean that once we've got the auto crafting side of the applied energistics set up, it actually becomes better than it is now. Like it makes sense to have a repetitive version of it because it works better. There we go. So we've got our ME access terminal. We're going to want an energy cell, so let's pop that in there. We're going to some fluid crystals and some iron. Lovely jubbly. One energy cell. And I think that's pretty much it. Let's pop this guy together. So there's that one. That. And that gives us our ME wireless access terminal. Lovely jubbly. And let's see if we can power this upstairs. I think we can power this with our thermal expansion. Goody, this guy, our energetic infuser. Yeah, there we go. It's powering up. Good stuff. So let's leave that to get a load of power in it. It's gonna need. It's got like a little internal battery, so it's gonna need that. So we'll throw down our wireless access point. Remember, we can put this anywhere as long as it's touching one of our items. So we'll pop it probably here. There we go. So we've got that set up. So we're now using 2.1 Minecraft joules. You can see here what's using up the power. So we've got an ME drive, a wireless access point, and a crafting terminal. Good stuff. And if we go upstairs, this should now be powered up. There we go, one wireless access terminal. Good times. And we need to link this with our system. So we go to our ME controller and we pop it in here and it's now linked. You can see it says linked there in the tooltip with our system. So if I click on this now, I can see inside there, which is brilliant. So if I put my glass in there and I now click on my ME wireless access terminal, you see the glass is in there and I can take the items out and they're not going to no longer be in our system, which is kind of handy. The only problem with these guys is they do have quite a low reach on them and they do kind of suck power up fairly fast. So let's see how far we can go. We can get to about here. So can I stand up here and use it? It shouldn't be a problem. Yep, that's fine. How's about if I'm up here? I think this is going to be stretching it. Let's have a look. Nope, that's fine. That's good. Oh, this is kind of nice. Can I go this far? I can. Ho 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 ho. Oh. Wow, it's a lot further than I remember it being. Still going. There we go. Alright, so we're now... Holy Jesus, why is there a creeper there? I thought I made this so those guys can't spawn. That's actually very bad. Alright, Mr. Creeper, we're going to take this one step at a time. If you get too far, I'm going to fly away like a madman. No! No! Please don't blow my stuff up. Where is the thing? I thought I sorted that. There we go. Let's have a little looky-see. Where are you? Is it up there? Ah, it's spawned on top of that. Oh, it can spawn here as well. Alright, that makes sense. Okay, there we go. No more creepers. That could have been a disaster. Literally a disaster. Alright, so we found that when we get to around about here, we can no longer use our terminal. So let's go backwards. There we go. So we can. This is about as far as it's going to reach. Maybe about here. Yeah, cool. So we can extend the range of our terminal, and I kind of want it to reach the whole base, especially if I'm going to do magic stuff, because a lot of the magic stuff requires things like redstone and whatnot, and I would like to be able to access it. So let's go downstairs and have a look at how we can extend the reach of our wireless access terminal. Ooh, that's on there as well. There we go. Not today. So we're going to need to make ourselves some upgrades. So let's go in here and have a look for our upgrades. And I can never remember what these guys look like. Let's have a little gander around here. Alright, nope. That's the one. Wireless booster. So a booster requires Certus quartz, redstone, and iron ingots. And we're going to make a fair few of these guys because I want it to stretch a fair, a good distance. So let's throw in a stack of those. We'll put in the rest of our iron and our redstone. And I think I'm going to make about... I'm going to make about 20 of these guys. There we go. So that way they stretch a fairly decent way. And we pop these inside our ME wireless access point. Or we can only add 16, that's fine. And now we should be good. You can see the energy has gone up though. So I believe that goes up when you do that. 3.7, yeah, there we go. So it will use up more power when it's doing that. But that now means that we can go a fairly decent way away to be able to use our terminal. And let's see if it picks up from over this way. So let's grab this. There we go. We're now working over this side. Can I go to my magical area? Let's have a look. Magic. There we go. Can I stand at my crafting, my enchantment table, and use it? I can. Brilliant. So there we go. Everything is looking good. The only thing that you need to worry about now, really, is being able to store all your stuff in there, and that's where it becomes repetitive again, because there's stuff that I didn't know could spawn. I thought I got rid of all this. There we go. Good times. We don't want any bad guys spawning. That would suck. So, the only other thing that I was saying you have to worry about is the storage side of things, because you're going to need more storage. So, running a quarry on a 1K is probably not going to work. You're going to need a bigger size than that. So, that means it gets a little bit repetitive again, because you have to start making the larger storage cells. But except for that, we're fairly sorted. We're looking pretty good. If we want to start doing the smelting side of things, we don't even need this crafting guy. We don't even need that at all to be able to do that. But it's going to come a little bit handy, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a few more of these and set this up how I want it to look. And then we'll come back and have a little gander at it. Sounds good to me. Alright, there we go. So I've thrown 2 of the ME crafting terminals on this side. I'm going to make like a little split, so we'll have 4 of them on either side. So I can just run out and use it, which is nice. I'm starting to do the same up here, although I might move it a little bit because it looks a bit out of place. I did want to use the multi-part of it for the hollow covers and things, but it doesn't look like it works with applied Energistics yet, so there we go. And that's pretty much what I've done. I've started adding items to it, so if we look in our ME wireless access, you can see that I've got most of my applied Energistics gubbins in there. I've also got a few other bits and bobs, and that is looking fairly nice. If we have a look at the power consumption downstairs, we're doing fairly well. We're using 4.7 Minecraft joules, which is barely nothing. Once we set up the auto-crafting side of things, it's going to drastically change that. But by that time, hopefully, we'll have our reactors set up for all the power we can ever need. So let's go back upstairs, and we're going to make a couple more things. There we go. Before we finish up the episode, so we can do one of the bags, one of the lovely lucky bags, as we've pretty much completed a quest by doing today's activities. So the next thing that we want to do, and this covers the crafting terminal side of things as well, is on this side here you can sort items by different things. So you can sort items by ID, you can sort it by name, so alphabetically, you can do it by number of items, so max items to lowest items, or you can do it in priority side of things, which is a little bit different, but we'll leave it an item ID. We've got toggle sorting directions, and we've got sorted craftable views. So at the minute this is sorted, we can have it as stored items, craftable items, which we haven't got yet because we haven't got a crafting device, and that's a mixture of both. The other good thing is the NEI synchronized auto, which I always leave this on. So what it means is that when we type in this box up the top, for instance, if I put in a bus like that, it will bring up the precision buses, all of the different types of buses, and some of the bushes and things. But the good thing with this is that we can click items and drag stuff into it. So for instance, if I wanted to make myself some more of these ME basic processors, I can shift click and they'll bring themselves down here, which is fairly cool, I must admit. Yes. So let's go back. There we go. I'm going to want to make a couple of things before we finish up. Let's go downstairs. And like I say, we should be able to hand in a quest after this, which is going to be kind of cool. I wonder where my... where did my quartz cutting knife go? I had a quartz cutting knife, and it's disapparated into the... Oh, there it is. Alright, it's already showing another one of those. Good stuff. Okie dokie, so we're going to want some of these buses. We need to make a precision import and a precision export. We're not actually going to use them today, but we will make them because we're probably going to use them in the next episode. So both of these are going to require 2 basic processors. They're also going to require, if we go in here, these guys which need basic processors as well. So we're going to need 4 basic processors before we can resume. So let's throw that in there. We've got 1. We're going to need some more of this plastic. So let's go grab some plastic from our little tree farm over here. See how much we've got between now And when we first started the episode, we had about 2 stacks worth. We've got a load more. Good stuff. You know, I'll grab most of that. And we'll be able to use this. You know, why am I flying when I can just do this? Bam! So much better. There we go. Right, those guys can go in there. We'll get rid of that. And we'll make our way downstairs, because I think it's set up on this monitor, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we want these guys. Let's get rid of that. Let's make a load of this. Cool beans. Gives us 14 of those. Let's throw it into there. And we'll bring up our bus side of things again. So we needed 4 of these, didn't we? So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get these cooking. And like I say, eventually we'll auto-process all of this. But I want to get this guy made first before I do that. So we'll get these cooking. And then we'll make the other 2 bits. One of the bits that you use to make all of these is actually the main thing for if you want to do the auto crafting without having the giant auto crafty guy, which is kind of cool. So we've got that. Let's go back. We want our buses. There we go. So first one's going to be a precision export bus. We're going to want an ME interface. We're going to need 2 of these because we need one for all of the processing anyway. So let's throw that in. We'll get those in there. We'll throw like that. So that's 2 of those guys. There we go. Let's go back to this. We're going to want ourselves... Oh, we got those, haven't we? Yeah, we're good. Alright. We're going to want this. So let's throw those in there. There we are. And you see what I mean about how handy this is? Really handy. And we're going to want to finish up with some pistons. One of them requires a piston. One of them, the import, I believe it is, requires a sticky piston. Hence why there are a couple of those in there. So let's make some pistons. I'll make a regular one to start with, but we need 2 of them anyway. And we'll do this, and we'll turn one of them into a sticky piston. So if I grab my slime balls, there we go. Alrighty. And we're pretty much done. So let's make these guys. So there's that one, so it requires that, and it requires that. Okay, and the other one requires that, and that. Basic import, basic export. Lovely jubbly. And then when we combine those with the rest of our processors, they'll make them into the precision versions, which are just better, but we'll look into that at another time. So there we go, we've made those. If we go to our bookbinder, go to our quest book, you'll see that we've now crafted all of these, which is a part of the digital storage from the, I think it's for the hoarding side of things. Let's have a look. Yes, digital storage, done. Get 2 hearts and a reward bag. Lovely jubbly. There we go, 24 lives remaining, so we're basically winning. Let's make our way back to the house. There we go, and we'll open up our bag. We've got a little bag. What type of bag is it? It's a greater hardcore bag. Boom! Oh, got some more potions. Which ones did we get? We've got invisibility again. I'm getting a load of these potions. Kind of cool. I think I'm going to move these, actually, over here. There we go. Because I'm kind of using this chest for all of the stuff that I get from all of our reward bags. There we go. So we got regeneration, flight, fire resistance. Look at that, 18 minutes of flight. That's insane. Fire resistance, regeneration, fire resistance, invisibility, and invisibility. Wow. There we go. Cool. Then we can just pop all the stuff in here that we don't need. I love it. Alright guys, I shall see you soon for another episode of Agrarian Skies. Have yourself a great day, have a good one as always, and goodbye.